2012, a tragic accident in London took the life of a well-known cycle courier. This is the story of Henry Warwick. Let's go to Liverpool Street. I'm not sure why, but I'm a little more nervous about this one than I have been in a while. Maybe it's getting back out onto the mean streets of London that I haven't done for a few weeks at least. So that could be it. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Try and ensure the same fate doesn't fall upon me as it did to that courier. We are just heading into the area of our destination number 1 today. We've got here, made a safe journey just about. It's a bit chaotic, it's a Saturday, it's sunny, there's people everywhere, and there's cars everywhere. Got to keep my eyes peeled in every direction today. It's a 360 day out. We've effectively come to London's Land of Cyclists. This is traditionally where you'll see cycles everywhere in London. Shoreditch, Hackney, Liverpool Street, those sorts of areas. And I am in fact on the C11 cycle lane right now, just passing the Artillery Arms. And there you can see the city dead ahead. And that's kind of where we're headed. There you go. Finally into the big city. This is a clue as to the first place we are going today. It's just up here on the left. Here we go. Stop 1 on today's tour. Of course, we've got to take the alley to get there, because that's what we do. Seek a shortcut. Oh, there it is. Rather unusually, we have come to a cemetery, and this is the site of BunHill Fields Cemetery, burial grounds. The name BunHill is thought to have originated from the word bone hill. Don't have to have much imagination to think what that means. And there are 123,000 people buried here, some of which are rather well known, some of which are names we've come across in the past on this ride. So let's go and see if we can find some of them. There's no cycling in here, at least on this stretch. So I'm going to be good and obey the rules for a change. It is quite an impressive place actually, as cemeteries go. It's one of the oldest ones. They closed it down through concern about public health and that sort of thing. And it's thought to be one of the last graveyards that was used in the city of London until they closed it down and moved them further out to places like Highgate Cemetery and Kensal Green, Kensal Rise, that sort of thing. Well, who we got here? Here lies, with a Y, Dame Mary Page. Okay, so there's going to be quite a few names that we do and don't know. This is one I don't know. But interesting that they've used Old English there with a Y for lies. This cemetery, BunHill Cemetery, is in the borough of Islington, but it's quite very far south Islington, almost on the border with, ooh, I don't know actually. It feels like it's far south Islington, let's put it that way. And look at it, absolutely cram-packed in there they are, overgrown, packed in, head to toe, more than any other cemetery. I mean, if you even wanted to walk between them to visit them, you couldn't. Whew. Now, there are actually quite a few notable graves here and tombs. So in a moment, I'm going to go and have a look around and see if I can find some of them and give you a little look of who's here. And they've turned the whole place into a sort of a public gardens as well. It's now open to the public, and look, it's a really, really peaceful place, as I suppose most cemeteries and graveyards are. But total peace in the middle of a chaotic city, right here. I love the old wording on some of this stuff. Look at this. In this vault repossesses the Reverend Theophilus Lindsay, later St John's College and sometime Vicar of Catterick in Yorkshire. But repossesses as a word. How cool is that? Imagine you lived here overlooking this lot. It's clearly a place that people come for a bit of peace, to get away from the chaos of the city. I didn't notice half these people till I got here. You got one there, a couple there, people down there, there, over there. Everybody's, even over there, look. They just sit quietly. It's the perfect way to escape the madness and the noise, just 100 metres or so away. It's fascinating. It's one of the great things about London. It's got all these little tucked away places that you can, you only get to know after time. And I didn't know about this. BunHill fields here, or BunHill, as you can imagine. Maybe they brought old bones of the dead here perhaps at one point, because this has been a cemetery since the 1660s. How old is that? And you can imagine them just sort of dropping off bones here. And I can always imagine if this was just a field where they dumped bones, and perhaps all these buildings around us, surrounding us now, none of them would have been here, obviously. So it might just have been a field area where they decided to start burying people, and yeah, carried on ever since. It's full of nonconformists, radicals and intellectuals and clergymen and people like that from the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries. And they eventually closed it due to health concerns about, I guess, when Victorian London was getting busy, and they were dropping bones and bodies off in there was plague and all sorts of illnesses. They decided, nah, we need to stop burying them here, and move them further out. And that's what they did. It's so flippin' nice here, I don't want to move. It is incredibly peaceful and calm. I just want to soak it up for a bit. It's fantastic. What the hell was that? There's either some sort of famous flyby thing going on today, or we're getting ready for war. One or the other. Hopefully it's the first one. What the fuck is going on? Wasn't the red arrows.
If you think about it and you position yourself, you can get a better spot. You have to know that these things are going on.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get some. I don't know how long this is going on for, but I'm going to try and find a spot somewhere.
Well, it's going that way.
Do you know what it's for?
It's like Fleet Street, sort of like that hill.
Yeah, I guess down by the river you'll have a better view, won't you? It's going to be a bit more open.
Yes, but sometimes it just depends, because obviously they come in this way.
Yeah.
And they're going
Here we go.
It's a building.
Oh, it's them, red arrows. fantastic. Oh, look at that. Wow.
That makes you feel good when you see things like that, doesn't it?
It does. There you go, sort of random things that can happen in London. You get to see the red arrows fly over for whatever reason. Brilliant. Okay, I can't believe this. I have accidentally stumbled across probably the most ultimate in brutalist architecture in London. Here we have Barbican. Ah, boy. I wasn't planning on doing this today, and I'm not going to do it properly. I'm just going to do a little flyby and show you some brutalist architecture of the Barbican. And just to give you an idea of how it fits into everything around here. Okay, brand new modern glass buildings everywhere. 1950 style Barbican building for the glass lift next to all of this lot. Ooh. Oh, hang on. What are we seeing? Oh, let me through. Absolutely awesome. We are very lucky today to see that, whatever it was. Right, just up ahead is the Junction where Henry Warwick actually died. So my plan is to ride the route and come at it from a few different directions to get a feel for what happened, what might have happened on that day. Let's keep going. There you can see the city right ahead. It's a lot quieter today. Obviously it is a Saturday and there's a lot less cars around, as I suspected. You know, possibly a Monday or a midweek early morning, that might have happened. It's going to be a hell of a lot busier at that time than it is on a Saturday, particularly because we're here in the city. Well, like nobody's working today. Pretty straightforward. So we got Liverpool Street on our right hand side now. And we're approaching the Junction, where apparently Henry would have been coming up to this junction in this direction, I think, and a coach actually turned left on him, which I imagine, as we get up to it, you'll see what I think may have happened. So I think perhaps he was going straight on. This is my thinking. He would have been going straight on here. Now this is a new cycle lane, this wouldn't have been here. He's going straight on. A coach maybe would have come up from behind him and coach would have turned left on him here. So if a coach had come up behind him and turned left on him there, would have taken him out on that bend. That's what I suspect may have happened. I might be wrong. But if he was on his fixed wheel, turning it down that direction, he might not have had a chance to turn in time or to stop in time. Henry was one of the most experienced cyclists and cycle couriers in the London area, they say in Europe even. He worked for Rico Logistics and he was zipping around London most of his life. He used to ride in from a place called West Drayton. And West Drayton, if you go back to the very beginning of my videos, you'll see me in West Ealing. And West Drayton is beyond that. So that is a fair old ride just to get to work, even before you get here. And then he would get to work, and then he would do his shift, delivering parcels and probably important paperwork all around the city of London. And it's said that he would ride typically 100 miles every single day. So that makes him, without doubt, experienced. And he made it to 53 years of age doing that job. So obviously, the guy knew what he was doing. But somehow, even the best of cyclists can come a cropper at a major junction like this, where you've got big vehicles like this turning left and right, going around, people crossing the road everywhere, chaos going on. And it's a Saturday here. It's not even a busy day today. It's not busy at all. Imagine this at rush hour. It'd be completely crazy. So I think he was coming that way. He wanted to go straight on perhaps, and the coach came from around there and turned on him this way. Canadians, we're talking to you today. One of the reasons we are doing this is that one of my viewers sent me a message. He said he was interested in seeing a particular story. And the story is of Henry Warwick, the courier who sadly died at that very junction right there, here in Liverpool Street in the centre of London. And the story came to light because the viewer, I assume, may be Canadian or is a big fan of the Canadian band, the Barenaked Ladies. And the Barenaked Ladies, I didn't realise this, but the singer is a guy called Ed Robertson. And Ed, bit of a adrenaline junkie, I suppose. Ed had a series called Ed's Up. And Ed's Up was about Ed, the adrenaline junkie, trying different jobs around the world. And I believe it was on the last episode of the last series that Ed Robertson, was given the task of being the job of a cycle courier for a day in London. This was in 2009. So Henry was his mentor for that day. And there are a few YouTube clips on there of Henry actually getting Ed up and rolling, getting him started, that they had a crappy old bike lying around, and taking him out onto a few test runs on the streets. And apparently this was the series of the episode that Ed was most concerned about. And I don't blame him. Being a cycle courier in London is no joke. Back in those days, they probably put a lot more risk involved in it. There would have been a lot more risk involved in it back in those days. Because I think since then, there's probably a lot more safety measures gone in place for cyclists with their own traffic lights and little traffic lanes and that sort of thing. So this is the story of Henry Warwick and Ed Robertson, who rode with him that day in 2009 in London, before sadly Henry died just there, the 3rd of February 2012, at 53 years of age. R.I.P. brother, R.I.P. to a fellow 50 years cyclist.
Well, that's it for part 1 of the Henry Warwick story, BunHill Fields and Liverpool Street. Come back next week for part 2, when we discover some architectural masterpieces, fascinating history and true hidden gems. I'll see you then.